Vale Oval in Sydney. It's the Manly Sea Eagles and the Penrith Panthers.
The Eagles are 5th and the Panthers 9th on a glorious day on the northern beaches, and this is how the two sides will take the field. Manly have the one change. Brett Stewart is out. Michael Robertson shifts to fullback, and in 21, Mitch Creary moves onto the wing. Ben Kennedy is the captain of the home side and the coach is Desi Hasler. The visitors are 1 through 17 as named on Tuesday. Craig Gower passed a fitness test late in the week. He will play. Tony Puletua is the Panthers captain and they're coached by Johnny Lang. Jason Robinson is our referee in his 52nd first grade game, and it is the 5th place Manly Warringah Sea Eagles and the 9th place Penrith Panthers.
Yeah, that's right.
A great day on the Northern Peninsula, a good crowd in attendance as they try to cheer home the Sea Eagles to 3 successive victories. The Panthers also looking at that statistic, and over the last couple of days a good old-fashioned war of words has developed. Joel Clinton trying to lift his teammates, saying we're going to bash the Manly pack. Whether it acts as motivation for the home side, we will wait and see. This is Kennedy, the captain, again under an injury cloud for the majority of the week. Matt Eye, good metres forward from the left-hand centre, up to the 40. Tackle number 4 for the home side. Jason King takes control of the football and moves over halfway. A productive opening set for the home side. Monahan looks for and finds Orford on the open side. Reece Wesser well positioned at the back. He offloads to Preston Campbell, defending once again on this right wing. And a good opening set offensively for the Sea Eagles and some muscle in defence.
Yeah, strong go forward there from Manly in that set, and it's going to be tough in the middle around the forwards for this opening exchanges, because Penrith really need to assert some authority in there, as they showed last week against the Cowboys. If they get in control, get on top in tight, they're a chance of going on with it.
Joel Clinton, the man at the centre of the war of words. He goes forward, and at the moment Penrith pretty much playing with just 12 men. Luke Prittis, the regular dummy half, is out on the near side. Was seeing the trainer for the best part of 3 or 4 tackles, what appeared to be a head knock. Be a massive blow for John Lang and his troops. Mitch Creary, with the football in hand, finds himself with the opportunity back in the top grade. Scored 2 tries in Premier League last week and replaces the injured Brett Stewart. Prittis back in the defensive line, back in that centre third of the field, and that was heavy from the Panthers. A good 3-man tackle. Clinton there, so too Pritchard, and the captain Tony Puletua. King offloads to Williamson, going nowhere fast. Hicks is tackled. Over halfway, the Sea Eagles go with the kick. Reece Wesser collects it on the first bounce. And a big bump off there, Michael Monahan. So both our number 9s experiencing a few issues early.
And both teams just sorting themselves out. Penrith won't experiment with the ball, the football, in the early exchanges. They like to keep it tight, they like to complete their sets, and they like to get down the other end of the field and force errors into the opposition.
4 metres short of halfway. To Gower. Back from a hamstring injury. Integral member of this Panthers outfit. They will need every bit of the number 7's brilliance today. An awful pass from Prittis. It is ruled as gone backwards. That was the case. Puletua in open space. He dummies. Now back. Penrith will score. They have. It appeared the Panthers had butchered the opening try. Luke Lewis came from nowhere. And the visitors post 4 first points.
Well, the big question mark is, did it come from a forward pass? It looked to be marginal as far as I was concerned, and this is the one I'm talking about. Well, yeah, you could probably let it say that was okay. So they play on there, and it was a poor miss there. Travis Burns, generally a very, very good defender, misses the tackle. And, well, I thought they bombed it there. I thought Tony Puletua should have offloaded straight away, but in the end they come up with a try. Luke Lewis too strong for the cover defence, but this is it. Travis Burns drops off, and Tony Puletua, he's been playing some outstanding football, had a few injuries this year, but back on the paddock, he's a man-mountain to try and stop, and, well, Luke Lewis, with that sort of momentum, that close to the try line, comes up with the points.
I thought Tony Puletua had blown the try when he didn't get it back on the inside to Luke Priddis, but the other Luke Lewis was there for his 4th of the season. A lean season compared to years past, and further problems for Manly.
Yeah, well, he cops the elbow, accidental elbow into the side of the cheekbone there, and, well, he's out straight away. He's gone down feeling it. Bear in mind, he's had problems in the past with his jaw.
Preston Campbell with the attempt at goal. Timeout for a couple of injuries to get treated, Luke Lewis and Michael Monaghan. It didn't bother little Preston, though. He casually slots the extras after 4.5 minutes. It is the visitors 6, the home side 0. Michael Monaghan making the lonely and painful walk back to the dressing sheds inside the opening 5. And a huge loss for Des Hasler. It compounds the issue of 6 points.
Well, from Manly's point of view, they'll be hoping they can get Michael Monaghan back on the field. If it's a nose problem, there's every chance that he could come back onto the field. But what it does, no Michael Monaghan out there, takes a lot away from Manly's attack because of his varied kicking game. He provides a tremendous option for Matty Orford in terms of the kicking. In fact, they share their long kicking duties between them.
Shane Dunley in 14 onto the field. Joel Clinton had a little look up and he saw big Brent Kite standing in front of him, and the ball was dropped. That is the 0 tackle. Kennedy, the captain, just settling things down. It appeared Kennedy was pretty keen to get the ball out the back there and lost control of it, but it did go back as Orford gets it onto King. Back to Dunley, wrapping around. They trail by 6, the home side, early. 14 metres out. Again, they work the short side through Travis Burns. Steps off the right past Gower. Gets caught by Tony Puletua. King at first receiver. Now to Orford. That's an unlikely combination. Back to Williamson. He is brought down centre field. 10 metres out. It is tackle 4 for the Seagulls. Orford. Robertson. And the last tackle. Gain of 21 metres on this set. We have seen the Eagles flustered at times in positions like this over the last couple of weeks. And again, the decision-making on that last tackle didn't come up with the points.
Yeah, but full credit to Penrith's defence there. They rushed up off the line. In fact, they've been getting up, intimidating Manly's ball players, Matty Orford in particular. And also look at the fact that with no Brett Stewart out there today, it takes a lot away from the options that Matt Orford has.
Priddis finds Campbell. One further to Matt Cross. One of these new faces in the Penrith lineup in season 2006. Moving on at the end of the year is the man playing the ball, Craig Stapleton. Gower. No pressure whatsoever put on the number 7. The ball is trapped well by Robertson at the back. He links up with Hicks. Luke Lewis is off too, so potentially we could be down to 16 on 16. We said how big a loss Michael Monaghan was. Well, Luke Lewis, the same applies for John Lane.
Yeah, well, Luke Lewis is a real strike player for Penrith. Capable of making line breaks, but he's a tremendous support player. If somebody does make a break, he's invariably there in support.
As we saw with the try, some second phase football from Orford. Going through the hands of Stewart. Now onto Matt-I. Put the left foot on, but couldn't get past the tackle of Michael Gordon. Here is Creary. Short ball and a good one to Dunley, who looked round in support. No one was there. Creary to Orford. They have to go right. They go back into Michael Robertson. Preston Campbell watches the ball go over the boundary line. And it appeared the Eagles had the numbers on that far side.
Well, that's where, for example, you would have Brett Stewart coming around the back, providing the option. Michael Robinson, who's normally a winger, playing at fullback, doesn't have the same combination with the halves, and as a result, it takes a lot away from their attack. Penrith survived on that occasion, but Penrith need to get to their kick. They've got to get to their kick and play down the other end of the field. They can't weather this sort of assault.
Now to Stapleton. He hits and spins, unable to get the ball away. Well tackled by Dunley down low. Over the top was Kite as Gower crabs across field. Links up with Pritchard. The ball is spilt out the back and ends up in the hands of Luke Rooney. No restart to the count. The ball did hit Manly hands. Wasn't played at. Only the one line break in the game so far, and that was made by the man playing the ball, Tony Puletua. Now to Campbell. Drives it down to this left wing of Mitch Creary. Just his 15th game in the top grade, but a good strike rate, 7 tries. Matai. He slips it out the back. Orford to Kennedy. Dummy. Ben Kennedy into open space. Offloads to Creary, who wasn't well positioned. He got a miracle ball back to the captain from Dunley now to Orford and on to Burns. Expansive football from the Sea Eagles, and the locals are loving it. Now to Williamson. The tackle a little high, and the Sea Eagles will get the penalty.
And once again, the springboard for that attack from Manly was Ben Kennedy. Out on the left-hand side, he's big, he's strong, he's got a jink in his run, and he's got support players with him every time he goes forward. He's a danger man for Manly. He's the main man Penrith have to watch. Penrith elect not to go for goal. They're going to keep the pressure on.
King. Some big units out there, none bigger than Jason King. Here is Kite. Damaging from close range. They are testing the Penrith line. So far it has held strong. Orford is wide and deep. So too Stewart. Gets a good ball to Matai. On to Robertson. And that is 4 tries in 7 days for Michael Robertson. A hat-trick last week. He continues that form today.
Tremendous try on the left-hand side there by the Manly Warringah Sea Eagles, but it goes back to the break that Ben Kennedy made upfield earlier. He's got the jink, he's big and strong on the edge of the ruck. He's almost unstoppable. He's got support play every time he goes forward. And the break in play, they keep it alive, go back centre field. Finally, Penrith managed to shut them down, but from the break in play, the Sea Eagles spread the ball left-hand side. Now, Penrith, when you come up in defence, if you're going to play up and in defence, you've got to come up as a straight line in defence. You can't afford to have your outside defenders hanging back. That's what happened with Penrith on that occasion. The inside backs came up quick. The outside backs held up. Manly kept it alive, came up with a try through Michael Robinson.
What a great week it has been for the former Canberra Raider. Of course, collected a hat-trick last weekend in their 26-20 victory over South Sydney. After 10 minutes, we have 2 tries, a difference of just 2 at the moment. Kick to come. Travis Burns. 75% as far as his season goals go. A difficult assignment, and he's brought it round to the left just a little too much, so the scoreline remains Penrith 6, Manly 4.
And you can see the outside backs here, they hang back. It was the main problem was Michael Gordon, Danny Galea. They held back. They didn't come up as a line. Robinson got on the outside, comes up with a try. And, well, that's just reward for the tremendous support play and ball security that Manly have shown in this game. 6 out of 6 completions. Great pass selection from Manly. They know when to pass. They know when to lock it under their arm and go forward. And that's the sort of hit-up they need to continue in this set.
Orford on to Kite again. His numbers have been good. 7 tackles, 4 hit-ups. 29 metres in total for Brent Kite, so having a good game and leading from the front. A very skinny 10 being held by referee Robinson for both sides, and he's allowing the defence up quickly in the face of the attacking side. Orford had nowhere to go. He linked up with King. That is the last tackle, 35 metres. Only a modest set for the Sea Eagles following that try. Well taken at the back by Reece Wesser. Always a good gauge of the enthusiasm and mindset as the chasing team. And, Junior, if that's the case here today, Manly look very comfortable with what they're doing. It was a great chase.
Yeah, they're certainly pumped up today. Penrith got the jump on them with that early try. It was against the grain, so to speak. It came out of the blue, but since then they've stabilised the ship, Manly, and it's a real slugfest in the middle. Penrith, though, have got the best go forward in the game, and that's where Manly have to match them.
40-metre line. Prittis goes to the far side through Gower, looking for the inside runner in Pritchard. Tried to get the ball back to Preston Campbell, but the little 5'8" overran it. It is Manly's football. That is the 0.
And that's the difference between the two sides. The pass selection. Manly have been passing it when it's been on. They haven't been pushing passes. Penrith have pushed a couple of passes when it's only been half on. They've taken the risk, they've taken the gamble, and it hasn't paid off.
Another great scoring opportunity for the home side. Travis Burns. Robertson, one further to Chris Hicks. There's a question mark over one of the passes in that movement, allowed to play on as Stevenson just settles the attack down, or does he? Broke through the advantage line. It was desperation from Wesser that denied him. Orford grubbers through, pressure on Campbell. And Preston Campbell is trapped. Around the boots was Robertson, over the top was Creary. And the Panthers, they will have to endure another set of 6. Manly just starting to kick up a gear.
Well, tremendous attacking set there from Manly. In the end, they forced a repeat set. Great little kick through there from Orford, but it was a try-saving tackle from Reece Wesser that prevented the try. They get another crack now, Manly, at the Penrith try line.
Gower with the dropout, and a big one at that, 50+ on the fly. Here comes Brent Kite, and smashes into Matthew Cross, who did well. As we have a look at the stats where the game has been played, and Penrith have been very much on the back foot. Manly with the majority of the ball as well. Kennedy, Orford. Second man ball to Robertson. Snuck a pressure pass out the back. Preston Campbell, just how quick is he? It's a foot race, and Orford is up to the task. A superb covering tackle from Matt Orford. And now it is penalty Penrith. What a tackle from the little number 7.
Yeah, fantastic speed there shown by Matt Orford to come across and snap the legs from Preston Campbell from underneath him. But I was talking about the pass selection from Manly being outstanding so far in this match. That pass was knocked down, and we can see Orford coming across. He makes the tackle, and then he pushes Preston Campbell as he gets up to concede the penalty. So first time Penrith have been down in this territory for quite a while. They haven't been down here since the earlier exchanges of the match.
With halfbacks these days no longer playing that traditional defensive sweeping role, we don't get to see the number 7 making the covering tackle like that, but I think Steve Turvey Mortimer, who is the king, would have been pretty proud of that one. Gower and Dunley fired up, and maybe Reece Wesser had his eye on a little bit of push and shove centre field, because Wesser dropped the ball stone cold. There is Gower and Dunley. Something said in the tackle. Reece Wesser, very uncharacteristic.
Well, it was a poor pass. It was at his feet. On the fly, he had to try and pick it up, so I wouldn't blame Reece Wesser for that particular drop ball. But Penrith, once again, passing not accurate, pass selection poor.
Luke, lock it up. Ball straight away.
Off to Chris Hicks. A little bit of variation being shown by Des Hasler with his back line. Guys like Robinson and Hicks can fill a number of positions. Matai, that time around, went straight over the top of Michael Gordon. Kennedy. Up quickly with the Panthers there. They weren't going to allow Mark Bryant any room whatsoever. He's just onto the field. Here is Kite. Pops his head through the advantage line. Was taken down by Stapleton and Clinton. Dunley. That one was a little high. Was Matthew Cross the man penalised there? This is the reason why.
And he's dangerous out of dummy half, Shane Dunley, when he comes on, but that got him right around the chin, so you can't do that and expect to get away with it. And it gives Manly now another opportunity to put points on the board. They won't go for goal. They'll put the ball into touch and maintain the pressure on the Penrith line.
The Seagulls have had a majority of the football, yet they trail by 2. That's Bryant. A new lease of life since coming to Manly from the Canberra Raiders. Here is Kite. Spins out of the tackle of Luke Swain before being captured by Pulatua. Back to Bryant. Wasn't far off there. Dunley. He wasn't in position to be the dummy half. And a penalty goes to Manly right in front. Now what to do? Do you take the 2 points?
Oh, I think they might keep the pressure on here. But it was Trent Waterhouse that pushed the dummy half out of the way as he was getting back into play.
That was very lucky not to be a professional foul. Yeah. And if I had known who threw the ball away, you'd be playing a man short. Keep the head on your players. Yeah, we're cool, mate. And I don't like that.
Play restarts. And Manly are going to go for goal, it appeared. They were going to back themselves. Matt Orford not kicking for goal today. Again, it's an injury to him. Like Ben Kennedy, like Craig Gower, probably lucky to be on the field.
Yeah, exactly. You could see it was Matthew Cross that pushed Shane Dunley out of the way there as he's coming back into the defensive line. And no dummy half because he was pushed out of the way. That's a fair penalty.
Craig Stapleton is getting a rest from John Lang, a double interchange. The 2 front rowers are off. As Travis Burns at the quarterway point of the game raises the flags. We are locked at 6 after 20 minutes. It has been that expected midfield arm wrestle. Manly have enjoyed more of the ball. They've enjoyed better field position. But we are yet to see that one big shot we thought may ignite after the war of words over the last couple of days that have been played out in the media, Junior.
Well, it was shaping up as a real arm wrestle in the forwards. Penrith are trying to engage Manly in a battle in the forwards, but Manly are moving the ball a little wider and looking to take them on the edges. And so far in this match, they've come up with quite a few tackle busts on the fringes of the ruck. And that's avoiding that confrontation up the middle, which Penrith are looking for.
Hasn't Brent Kite been busy so far this afternoon, along with Jason King and now Mark Bryan onto the field. A great big man rotation at the disposal of Des Hasler. Chris Hicks tampered with him to play the ball. The Manly fans were asking the question about a penalty there. Jason Robinson didn't award it. Dunley links with Burns. Burns gets out of the tackle of Tony Pulatua. Was very half-hearted from the Penrith captain. Last tackle, a gain of 29 metres. And a kick at the end of it ends right up with Luke Rooney. Former state and national player, has had an indifferent season. This is his 15th game, missed just a handful. Wesser bumps out of the tackle of Kite.
And Manly really need to be alert on their right side defence, because that's where Penrith have had a couple of cracks at them so far in this match. They've come up with a try through that side. They've come up with a line break through that side as well. So, and they're spread out that way once again.
Here is the 15, Brian Norrie. Good run that time from the interchange forward. Tackle number 4 for the visitors, into the hands of Gower. A short ball to Pulatua. Initially had the arms free, but quickly over the top defensively there was Glenn Stewart. Last tackle, Gower. Pops it straight up, a test for Robertson. And he is driven over the dead-end goal line. And our referee, Jason Robinson, ruling there that the temporary fullback left the field of play to catch the ball, then was driven back into in goal. That's why there's a dropout, not a 20-metre restart.
Yeah, perfectly weighted kick. It came down just in the field of play. Michael Robertson had no option but to go up for it from the field of play. He comes down in the in goal area, forced dead in goal, which means it is a line dropout. So first time Penrith will get a crack at Manly from a line dropout. Don't be surprised if once again they'll attack the Manly right side defence.
Campbell takes the ball, offloads to Norrie. He heads centre field. Trying to just pick out a smaller defender when faced by Bryant Kite, Kennedy and company. That is good meters by Frank Pulatua. His first hit up of the afternoon, Gower. Second man ball there to Frankie Pritchard. Rooney gets it back to his halfback and playmaker. No pressure applied to Gower, so the ball continues to the right-hand side, still going as Matt Bell. They are just 3 metres out. Gower to Campbell. He looked for the grubber. It was played at according to our referee, and the tackle count restarts. 6 again for the visitors.
That's a tough call. I didn't think that it was played out there. I thought Glenn Stewart just stood his ground, but 6 again, that's a big play, big call for Penrith.
Once again, it is Frank Pulatua. Pritchard. Pritchard to the line. He was just too good. Penrith, once again, have control on the scoreboard. It is 10-6 with a kick to come.
And it came off the back of a controversial, I think it was a controversial decision there by the referee to rule 6 again. Preston Campbell puts it through, and I don't think Stewart played at that. I thought he was just holding his ground. 6 again. Penrith go to the right side Manly defence that they've had success against them so far in this match, and well, it was a simple try in the end, and well, that was a poor tackle. I think it was Travis Burns that goes far too low on Pritchard, and well, Travis Burns is normally a recognised strong defender, but he's come up with 2 bad misses so far in this match.
3 for the season for the Kiwi international. Very deceptive too. Frank Pritchard has signed a long-term deal with the Penrith Panthers, and for a lock forward, there is plenty of him. Very talented athlete. Preston Campbell, 1 from 1 today. Takes no time whatsoever with his goal kicks. And when the result is like that, why would you change? Preston Campbell from the sideline. A converted try is the difference. It is the Panthers 12, the Sea Eagles 6. Yet to see the return of Michael Monaghan. The same can be said for Luke Lewis. So it could well be 16 on 16 for the remainder. Wesser. Ball off to Brian Norrie. Bumps out of 1. 2 sides met in round 13 of this year at CUA Stadium. Manly were victorious by 29 points to 22. And head-to-head, the Sea Eagles hold the ascendancy since the Panthers entered the competition in 1967. Pritchard going straight through the middle of the Manly defensive line. Didn't quite bust the line, but bent it. Here is Gower. Little flick pass to Campbell. Goes back to Frank Pulatua. Happy to keep promoting the football and playing expansive brand. Gower plugs it into the corner. A test for Robertson. He does very well because there are Panthers everywhere.
He's had a very strong game at the back so far, Michael Robinson. He's been put under a fair bit of pressure, but in attack, he chimed into the back line a couple of times. He's working very, very well out of the dummy half area and off Matty Orford. So, you know, he started this game very strongly, but the big challenge once again now for Manly is can they get the yardage through the Penrith rucks and engage them in the forwards.
Burns gets it onto Williamson. 1 further to Chris Hicks, himself a former Panther. A 31-metre gain. Again, not the type of target Des Hasler would have been aiming for.
Yeah, been very poor, the long kicking game from Manly so far in this match, because Monaghan's not out there providing an option kicker, and plenty of pressure. In fact, too much pressure's been put on Matty Orford. As we can see there, Monaghan on the sideline, still in his gear, which indicates, well, maybe we may see him at some stage later on in this match. And he's sporting a nose that's looks like a bit of a
Looks like a
angular nose, I would say.
Looks like a speed hub at the local shopping mall, the head of Michael Monaghan at the moment. A nice big cut down the middle of the beak as well. Will we see him back? Yes, we will. Movement on the bench. The centrefold days are over for this week anyway, as Wesser takes it to the line, has the arms free, got out the back, and the ball was spilt by Matthew Bell. Wasn't suspecting the football. All his other supported overrun Reece Wesser.
And that's a real let-off for Manly, because all the momentum was the way of the Panthers in this match over the last 10-12 minutes. It's been the Panthers that have really started to assault Manly, and Manly on the back foot, but that's a real let-off. And with Monaghan shaping to come back onto the field, it's a double blow for Penrith.
Okay. Hold out. Last time,
Seagulls with the footy. Through their number 5, Stevenson. Keep in mind they're without 3 great representative players. I speak of Stephen Menzies, Anthony Watmoe and Steve Bell. Add Brett Stewart to that list. 4 of their big guns are out. And a big effort required as Monaghan gets the ball back in his hands. Gets the bump off from Frank Pritchard. Probably not the guy you want to run straight back into. Cold as Frank Pritchard. Orford. Inside ball there to George Rose. Another former Panther in this Seagulls outfit. Had a stopover at Bondi Junction, did George Rose, before moving into Manly colours. Preston Campbell did brilliantly there, out-leaping Mitch Creary. Good one-on-one challenge there. To is Gordon, here is Campbell.
And it was the right idea. Unfortunately, the kick was a little bit too far downfield. There's no doubt that they're going to target Preston Campbell under the high ball. He defends on the right side in defence, and he's only a short guy up against much taller men in the Manly back line.
A speculator at the back from Tony Pulatua. Luckily for the Panthers that Frank Pritchard was there. But that Gower-Pulatua combination, the Manly right-hand side defence is causing problems. Now a problem this side for the Seagulls, and Preston Campbell needed to keep the football going. They have, through Wesser, puts a sidestep on, and Reece Wesser scores the Panthers' 3rd. And the Mountain Men are well in control. It is 16-6 kick to come.
Yeah, well, there's nothing really doing on that occasion, and the man that can turn something or make something out of nothing is certainly Reece Wesser. We see the Manly defence, they get up, they're up there in numbers, nothing really doing. Failure to complete the tackle, and back on the inside, Reece Wesser, one of the quickest players in the competition, off the mark, accelerates into the hole and comes up with the try. But failure there by the Manly defence to hold their line, to work on the inside. And Wesser, well, you can't blame Michael Robinson at the back with a guy of Wesser's speed and footwork. He comes up with the try, and Penrith really entering into cruise control mode at the moment.
They certainly are. Whilst the sunshine is out on the northern beaches today, we have had a lot of rain in Sydney over the course of the last couple of days, and the surface hasn't been chopped up, but it is slippery underfoot. So that's why you saw Michael Robertson lose his footing there. Campbell right in front, makes no mistake whatsoever, and the advantage is now out to 12. The Panthers 18 are leading the Seagulls 6, just over 8 minutes remaining in this opening half. You wouldn't know that John Lang's a happy man at the moment. He should be, though.
Now, his team are going very, very well, as we can see here once again, Reece Wesser. But what Manly are missing is they're missing their 2 best defensive forwards. They're missing Steve Menzies and they're missing Anthony Watmoe, who both of those players do a lot of clean-up work. They clean up a lot of the crumbs in there around the ruck. They work very hard on the inside. They haven't got those 2 defenders out there today, and it's showing. Penrith are coming up and exploiting with the inside pass.
Matt Orford celebrating his 150th grade game today. He was just involved in that tackle. He's been very busy defensively this afternoon, Matt Orford. Targeted and been requiring the assistance of some of his back rowers as Gower, just outside the 40, plugs it downfield, goes over the sideline. There is a foot or 2 in this, and the scrum feed will go to the Seagulls.
Yeah, they're getting into a real rhythm at the moment, Penrith. That was an easy kick by Gower. Found the space, gives his troops a chance to take a breather, to get down, to get set. They'll be trying now to engage once again Manly in a forward battle and try and force an error down here so that they can stay on top. They've certainly got the momentum at the moment. It's all their way.
Matty. Seconds down, locks down, man, lock down. Ball now. Stay back. Stay out.
Slips it out the back to Matt Orford. It is Robertson playing the ball, the lone Manly try scorer this afternoon, Kennedy. He just doesn't stop, Ben Kennedy. Another interchange used by Des Hasler. Kylie Lulawai is on for Big Mark Bryant. And Kylie Lulawai in open space, doing his impersonation of a steamroller. Looked to go straight over the top of Reece Wesser. Now it's to Ben Kennedy. He spills it out the back to Monahan. Now in the hands of Orford. Bumps out at one. Is caught by the second. Ben Kennedy is in a lot of trouble on the ground in back play. Yet another injury perhaps for the Seagulls.
Yeah, it looks like a knee injury. Bear in mind that he's had a couple of bad corks above his knees in the last couple of weeks. Now, whether or not he's got another knock on that knee.
Preston Campbell, that was exceptional, and the penalty goes Penrith's way for Preston being tackled in the air. Takes a lot to hurt the man they call BK. Appears that's the case here.
Well, he tried to run over the top of Luke Priddis. It looks as though he's got Priddis's head right into his knee or just above his knee. And as I mentioned, he's had a couple of bad problems with cork muscles. Oh, yeah, Priddis's head, which is probably harder than Ben Kennedy's knee at the moment. Priddis got up, Ben's still hobbling off. So that's a big blow, a major blow to Manly. But don't be surprised if we see him back on in the near future. That's the courage and how tough Ben Kennedy is.
He's got a touch of the Ray Prices about him. He is to his feet. He is filthy. He wants to play on. And the trainers have nicely said it's time for a timeout. And hopefully a little bit of rest here will allow Ben Kennedy to get back into the game. But with injuries like that, Junior, once you cool down, it makes it so much harder to get back out there.
Yeah, it is very, very difficult, particularly if you put some ice on it and it starts to congeal the blood around that sort of area. It does tend to stiffen up, so you'll want to try and keep moving around if he's at all any chance of getting back on there, but he's still in a fair bit of pain.
Shane Rodney and Trent Waterhouse are the two regulars not considered by John Lang due to injury. Certainly be invaluable. Here is Pritchard on the end of another Tony Pulatua pass. Two Kiwis forming quite the combination on that left-hand side. Wesser scored the last. They continue. Good ball movement from the Panthers. Galea gets out of a couple, still going. Tackle number 4 inside the final 5 minutes of this opening half. A long ball from Gower to Priddis, onto Campbell. Nowhere to go. Back to the number 7. What options does he have? Grubbers ahead. The winger was called out of play, Michael Gordon. He appeared a certainty to score the try, ruled as offside, so stayed back the distance. And a free 20 metres for the Seagulls.
Yeah, it was a well-weighted kick there. Unfortunately, Michael Robertson had overrun Craig Gower. The judge and referee called Gordon, I should say, Gordon offside. And it was a try gone begging.
Burns got the ball back from Williamson. Certainly one of the contenders for the Rookie of the Year. In regards to the Dally M's is Travis Burns, and you can see the Dally M's live and exclusive on Fox Sports as the race to finals football intensifies. Going forward is Lulawai. Brought down just a couple short of halfway. Now to Orford. Has been in everything this afternoon, Matt Orford. A simple run around onto Creary, but Orford couldn't get the ball there. He had Mitch on his right-hand side as Maddai flicks it out the back to Michael Monahan. Last tackle, and that is a better kick, this time from the Seagulls, forcing a little bit of pressure onto Reece Wesser. Beat the initial tackle of Glenn Stewart. Couldn't get away from the kicker, Monaghan. Ben Kennedy staying warm on the sideline and not allowing that injury to take its toll.
Yeah, not icing up the injury. We've got word from the sideline that he's aggravated that cork that he has above his knee, and that was the problem why he had to come from the field. So there's no doubt we'll see him back on the field in the near future. He's just trying to keep the knee joint loose and mobile at the moment.
18 points to 6 in favour of the visitors. Manly went into the contest as the favourites according to the bookies. So many times the underdog has got up in 2006. It's why the competition is so close. And you could hear the groan there from Michael Robertson.
Hold on. We got time.
Gets to his feet. He is okay.
Here he got twisted back here. You can see knee held while the torso was twisted back, but fortunately he's up and about and going back to the fullback position. So that was very fortunate for him because it looked awkward.
They are horrible to look at, those tackles where the player is bent over. Robinson plays on Orford with a short ball onto Stewart. Thought about trying to keep the ball going. Tackle number 4, a good dummy from Matt Orford. The inside man is Burns. Mitch Creary has moved centre field. He wants to be part of the action. Now to Orford. Keeps it in hand, back to Stewart. He drops it out the back and it lands safely with the Penrith Panthers. Under 2 minutes remaining, that may well be Manly's last real opportunity at points in this first half.
Yeah, it was unusual to see Matty Orford take the wrong option. The long pass was on because Preston Campbell had dropped back. They had an overlap down the short side. He elected to put the short pass on for Stewart, and Glenn Stewart, unfortunately, came up with the turnover.
That is good metres out of dummy half. Michael Gordon very quick to his feet, allowing the opportunity of a roll on here as Wesser. Straight through the middle, Reece Wesser. Preston Campbell is the beneficiary of Reece Wesser's magic. And that is the Panthers' 4th try of the afternoon with just 60 seconds remaining in the opening half. It is 22 points to 6.
Well, they've got some excitement machines, have they? And when you combine Reece Wesser and Preston Campbell together in a play, it's almost impossible to stop them from scoring. And that came from, once again, poor defence on the short side from Manly and missed tackles. They've missed so many one-on-one tackles in this game that we don't normally see from Manly. And Penrith are capitalising on the opportunities that they've had and come up with tries just about every time they've broken the line.
He's had a good game, Preston Campbell, who'll be off to the Gold Coast Titans next year. As the siren sounds in the background, the first half was dominated by the visitors. They came into the contest in 9th on the NRL ladder. They want to keep their finals hopes alive, and at half-time, Penrith lead 24 points to 6.
Not this. Not that. Not whatever.
Not a trend. Not an afterthought.
Not a quiet night in. Not a compromise.
Not for everyone. Not meant to be. It just is.
The Bourbon. A new plasma or LCD, a new lounge or bedroom suite, a new notebook or digital camera. Put yourself in the picture now with 19 months interest-free at Harvey Norman. No deposit, no interest, no repayments for 19 months till February 2008. 19 months to pay for new furniture or bedding, home theatre and appliances, computers or mobile technology. The lot. That's no deposit, no interest and no repayments for 19 months until February 2008. So, snap to it. Now's the time to buy at Harvey Norman. But hurry, offer is limited.
I'd say come into Bunnings. We have the biggest range around. If you can't find it at Bunnings, you're going to be hard-pressed to find it anywhere else.
Synthetic coir and rubber mat, only $16.90. 45-litre laundry tub, $159. Alec garden stake with timer, $29.98. Redline plastic toolbox, just $9.48. If you happen to find a cheaper price on a stocked item, we'll beat it by 10%.
Why don't you come down and visit us?
Bunnings Warehouse. Lowest prices are just the beginning.
Most would agree. Bigger returns from your investment portfolio require higher risk. To illustrate, if this was your investment, you'd expect to take a risk relative to your eventual return. However, using its investment banking expertise, Macquarie has created a range of innovative new investment products that, for the same level of risk, can deliver a bigger return. Talk to your financial advisor or ask Macquarie how to get bigger returns from your portfolio without added risk.
Macquarie, forward thinking.
Oh, yeah. Oh, goody da.
I'm premium light. Some drink it because they're responsible.
What?
Others just love the taste.
Welcome back to Brookvale Oval for this second half of the round 20 clash between the Manly Warringah Sea Eagles and the Penrith Panthers. And as we start the second half, it has been a 40 minutes dominated by the visitors. 4 tries to 1, 24 points to 6. Manly desperately need to lift the enthusiasm and the application to get back into this game. Came into round 20 in the middle of a massive race for those final couple of spots in semi-final footy, on 5th position. And with victories over the weekend to the Cowboys and the Knights, the pressure is most certainly on the Brookvale boys. Perfect conditions. No rain to speak of today, despite the wet weather that has dominated Sydney over the course of the last 4 or 5 days. 31-metre gain for the Panthers on their opening set of the second half, and a kick with an awkward bounce at the end of it for the fill-in Manly fullback Michael Robertson.
And it's important that Manly come up with first points in this second half, and it's not going to be easy when their skipper, Ben Kennedy's still not out there on the field. We can see him on the bike on the sideline. Des Hasler's obviously looking to Manly pitch down that left-hand side, waiting until Manly can put themselves back in this game before he risks Ben Kennedy again.
Kite puts the big don't argue onto Frank Bulatua, who was slow to his feet there. Brent Kite has been one of the real positives for the home side today as the ball goes from Orford to Burns, taking it to the line himself. Last tackle for Manly, a 60-metre gain, a good gain. Orford, a crossfield kick. Here comes Glenn Stewart. Manly are in. Under 2 minutes of the second half. And the opportunity was there for the second rower. And he ran straight through 3 Penrith defenders who were showing no urgency to get to the football.
Well, they needed to put first points on the board. We're looking for the offside here. And we can see Glenn Stewart, there's no doubt that he's behind the kicker, so that's not a problem. Now, normally, it's his brother, Brett Stewart, that comes and capitalises on that sort of kick back inside from Matty Orford. But Glenn's there on this occasion, does extremely well to position himself to get the football, shoulders the couple of the Penrith players out of the way, and comes up with the try that they so desperately needed so early on this second half.
A great grab there, a lot of determination from Glenn Stewart. Had 3 Panthers from all angles around him. There is it, and there's a try to the Sea Eagles. They narrow the gap, 24 points to 10. Kick to come, the perfect start to the second half for the home side. Travis Burns slots the extras. He's kicked 2 from 3 this afternoon. Preston Campbell has kicked 4 from 4. It is 4 tries to 2 and 2 converted tries the difference. Would have been quite a spray, you would imagine, from Des Hasler at half-time. And he'd be happy with the opening couple of minutes. Penrith restart as the Manly crowd finds a little bit of voice. Here is Luluai. Uncompromising as a front rower, very tough.
And the half-time break came at a poor time for Penrith. They were really on a roll, all the momentum was their way, and now Manly back in the hunt, come up with first points in this second half and starting to get on a bit of a roll themselves.
And the advantage, the momentum shift, most certainly in favour of the home side. They get a penalty. And a further 22 metres from the boot of Matt Orford. Into Manly territory, Maddai takes a very quick restart and works it up towards the 30-metre line. Once again, it is Lulawai complaining about the slow play of the ball. Here is Kite. Outstanding numbers today, 12 hit-ups, 15 tackles, Orford across field. In fact, it's Monaghan still going. Suffered a horrible knock earlier in the game. We didn't think we would see him again. Stewart drops the ball, scored a try a couple of minutes ago, just trying to flick that miracle ball out the back. So an incomplete set for the Sea Eagles. The idea was right. There is the Crusher sitting front row with Des Hasler, adding some years of experience. Pritchard not locking into the scrum, instead playing it standoff. Trying to gain a few cheap metres there is Michael Gordon.
L2, movement!
Most of Penrith's attackers sent around it. Craig Gower, Tony Puletua, Reece Wesser have been the ones causing the Manly line some problems. Here is Gower. Bypasses Clinton and gets it onto Reece Wesser. In fact, it wasn't Clinton, it was Matthew Bell. Back to Gower. He crosses halfway. Just changing the angle that time is Frank Puletua on tackle number 5. A gain of 42 metres for the visitors. In control of the match at 24 points to 12. Good metres there for Michael Robertson. They've missed that flair that Brett Stewart provides at the back today.
Yeah, he's a dangerous player at the back, and he's got a tremendous combination that he's worked up with Matt Orford as well in and around those rucks. So it's certainly taken a fair bit away from them. But having said that, I think Michael Robinson's been outstanding at the back today, given that he normally plays on the wing.
Crossing the ruck from Monaghan, it went to Orford, and now to Hicks. Used as a decoy was Williamson. Chris Hicks wrestled to the ground by captain Tony Puletua, who concedes the penalty there.
And a bit of gamesmanship here between a couple of old teammates. Chris Hicks used to play alongside Frank Puletua and Tony Puletua at Penrith. And Tony saying, no, he was just fudging, but the referee wouldn't buy it.
Lulawai again. He runs into Brian Norrie. Also there was Frank Puletua. Orford gets it off to Big George Rose. He's had an impact in limited opportunities. Come back this open side. Robertson, long ball, the try is on. The try is scored. It is Paul Stevenson in for the Sea Eagles, and the fans go crazy at Brookvale. They are back. 24 points to 16, still the kick to come. The second half has been all the home side.
And once again, it was bodies in motion that allowed the Manly side to get on the outside of the Penrith defence. In tight, the tight defenders came up really quick. The outside defenders once again held back. And when you hold back, Luke Rooney, he holds back here, gets caught short. And tremendous try in the end to get the Manly side right back in this competition. Paul Stevenson finishes off. That's his 5th try for the season.
Burns raises the flags, and they are back to within one converted try. The Mountain Men may have been comfortable. That has all changed. 12 unanswered second half points. We are set for a thrilling final half hour. There's Ben Kennedy, has just sent the message upstairs to Des Hasler, we understand. And it was a simple one. I want back. Back into the game for Ben Kennedy. The old cliche, you can't keep a good man down. In this case, you can't keep a good man off.
No, and Des Hasler's played it smart as well. He didn't want to throw Ben Kennedy out there at the start of the second half if Manly weren't going to get on a roll and put points on the board. If Penrith had scored first in the second half, we wouldn't have seen Kennedy again. But now they're on a real roll. He realises Ben Kennedy can be the difference between winning this game and losing it.
is waiting impatiently for his introduction as Ben Kennedy is. Stewart plays the ball back to Matai. Had the right arm free, looked for Monaghan, but couldn't get the ball away. Now to Warford, kicks it just short of halfway. A poor kick, and the factor went straight to Reece Wesser on the full. Look at this Manly chasing team. Wesser's dropped the ball. Travis Burns has picked it up. Here go the Sea Eagles. Monaghan. They move to the right. It is another try. Chris Hicks is in and Manly are back. What a resurgence from the Sea Eagles. We have a 2-point game, 24-22.
And what a strange game rugby league is. Up until half-time, it was all Penrith. Second half, it's all been Manly. They forced the error there. It was great work by Matty Orford. It was a poor kick. Followed up his kick, forced the error, and off the back of that, the Penrith defence were just backpedaling. There's no way that they could have stopped that try. There were too many Manly players there. Penrith were backpedaling to try and get back onside, and in the end, it was a great try by Chris Hicks.
23 metres back. 10 metres in. Travis Burns. He's got it. We are locked at 24 with half an hour remaining. Wherever you may be watching on your sports leader, sit back, relax, buckle in. We're in for a thrilling final. Ben Kennedy still waiting to get thrown back into action as Penrith restart yet again. No surprise here. Big Brent Kite starts pumping those legs. Bulldozes one. Pushes another off. A good meter maker from the front rower.
They've really got some self-belief now, Manly. 3 tries in 9 minutes since half-time. So that's the power that this Manly side has got within them, the punch they've got within them.
All of a sudden, there's a group of players backing up on every opportunity. Players in motion around the football at all times. Monaghan. Orford. Orford through the middle. Had Creary on his left, but couldn't get the ball free from the Michael Gordon tackle. It is the last. They go to Monaghan as their second choice kicker. He puts it high. A test for Rooney. Rooney is up to it. He beats Chris Hicks for the football. And a reprieve. It's only temporary, but a reprieve for the Panthers.
It wasn't a good kick by Michael Monaghan on that occasion, but he's been outstanding since he's come back onto the field after having badly broken his nose in the first half. He's been working up a tremendous combination with Matt Orford around the rucks, and one of the reasons why they've come up with so many breaks since half-time.
There is Monaghan. Here is Pulatua. This time it's Frank. Tackled on the 40. Gower needs to take control. This is Tony Pulatua. Travis Burns didn't miss that tackle. He was superb around the knees. Now back to the number 7. He gets it downfield. Out over the sideline. That is the perfect result for Penrith. They need to slow this game down. And you can hear the roar from the Manly crowd. Ben Kennedy is back into action. Getting a rest as Big Georgie Rose for their inspirational skipper, who has barely trained this week after suffering 2 corked knees as well as a groin injury over the last fortnight. This is what we saw Ben Kennedy do earlier on. Of course, corked his knee on the head of Luke Prittis in that tackle. He was in a lot of pain.
And when he went to the sideline, he didn't just sit there and ice it up. He's been moving around. He's been on the bike for 15, 20 minutes, loosening it up. Can't wait to get back out there. He's now out on the field to lead by example.
Time to do the dirty work for the Sea Eagles. Matai. He doesn't mind this. Bumps off one. There's 3 Panthers there to take him to the ground. Stapleton just hanging around the neck a little too long for Matai's liking. And the Panthers yet again testing the 10 metres held by Jason Robinson. Here is Kennedy. Regularly gets that right arm free. Decided against throwing it this time. Orford. A better kick from the number 7. Will it hold up? No, just a little bit too much on it for Matt Orford this time, but Manly won't mind that result. They get to set their defensive line on the 30.
And you can see the Penrith players walking back. The body language, very negative at the moment. Manly on the other side of the equation are really pumped up. They're responding to this crowd, and this crowd is really urging them on.
Here's Joel Clinton. He's been kept pretty quiet today. That just his 5th hit up of the afternoon. Gower across field. Dummy to Pritchard. Wanted to find Rooney on the outside, but couldn't. The 11 is Matt Cross, once again into Manly territory. Now from Prittis to Campbell. Onto the big 16, Matt Bell. Now to Prittis. Back to Campbell. Last tackle. Manly's scrambling defence is being tested. They come the near side. Gower. Long ball. Rooney. Didn't have a play at it, and it goes straight from Craig Gower into the perimeter fencing here. Poor execution on the last. The idea was right.
Well, I don't know if the idea was right. Manly had the numbers there in defence, and the best option would have been to kick into the in-goal area to try and force a repeat set, or even try and come up with a try. But it was a poor pass in the end. Really lets the Manly off the hook, and they've been under siege in this second half, Penrith. More to come.
24 points apiece as Jason King takes it over the 30-metre line. The Eagles are centre field on tackle number 2. Kennedy carries a couple with him. Superb metres from the captain. Dunley. Now to Burns. Steps out of one. Beats another. Couldn't get past the tackle of the front row combination, Clinton and Stapleton. Monahan, dummies right, goes left. Now to Matai. Steve Matai in open spaces. West is coming from one direction. Has Reece Wesser held up Mitch Creary? No, it's a Manly try. An incredible comeback from the Sea Eagles. What was in the drink bottle at half-time? What did Des Hasler have to say? Whatever the case, it is working.
Well, it was a strange try because Michael Monahan at dummy half didn't have a call. He, at the last moment, decides to go short side. Matai, what about the acceleration? Michael Gordon is a speedster as well, and great support on the inside there by Creary to come up with the try, but it was down this short side. Matai's been dangerous every time he's touched the football today. He's either made a half break, got his arms free, or on this occasion, he's set up a try. So tremendous work by Manly.
23 metres back, a couple in from touch. Oh, yes! What a kick, Travis Burns! The little number 6 slots it over from the sideline. 24 unanswered points from the Sea Eagles in the second half. They lead by a converted try, 30-24. 17 minutes. What a spree it has been for the home side. We restart again. This is Jason King. What can Penrith counter with now? They had the ascendancy early. That has shifted. It has been all the Eagles. A vastly different performance from the performance we saw in the opening 40 minutes. Just settling play down now and moving centre field and towards halfway. Robinson plays it. Now it goes to Glenn Stewart. Does a lot of work, Stewart. A lot of work off the ball as well. Campbell, a nice take. Links up with Wesser. Here come the Manly chasing team yet again. Was that high from Burns? Yes, it was. According to our referee, Jason Robinson. And a very timely penalty for the Panthers. They will take their sweet time about this. Any break in play for Penrith at the moment, Junior, is a good one.
Well, it is, and what's a good sign for Penrith and Penrith supporters is that they've got their hands on the football at last. A couple of times in this second half, they've touched the football and come up with errors. What they need to do is they need to get some field position. They've been struggling too often down their own end of the field.
And another penalty going to Penrith. Again, the tackle high, this time from King. It was Michael Monahan up a little high. Wayne, there didn't appear a lot in that one.
No, there wasn't much in that at all.
This could well end up being Manly's second biggest comeback ever. 18 points behind, and they lead by 6. Ironically, their biggest comeback was 2005 against this very club, Penrith, at this very oval. Here is Clinton yet again. They trail by 6 to the Sea Eagles. Short ball. Matthew Bell gets dangerously close. Priddis to Gower. Does well to reel it in. Look for the grubber. Gower. It wasn't played at. That is tackle number 4, so a loss of some 16 metres. Rooney to Wesser. He is wrapped up very quickly after getting the football. And another penalty to Penrith, this time for stripping the ball. And the penalty count has gone from 5-2 to 5-all in very quick time. They opt for the restart immediately. Pritchard has tackled 2 metres out. 5 tries to 4 in favour of the home side. Galea gets up and goes again. Had Campbell on the inside, couldn't get his arms free. Back to Preston. Now on to Cross. Priddis from dummy half. The Manly defence well aware of Luke Priddis' game plan and reputation there. Campbell. Back to Gower. Tackle 4 it is. Now to Pulatua. The ball comes free and safely into the hands of Paul Stevenson. A huge let-off for the home side.
Yeah, tremendous defence by Manly on their try line. They were getting up, they were putting pressure on Craig Gower, on Preston Campbell. They forced the error here. Tough defence. Travis Burns, who's had a mixed day in defence, forces the error, and now it's up to Manly to try and get some field position.
Time spent with the football has been relatively evenly shared to this point. You can see 52% of the time in favour of the Sea Eagles, 48 to the Panthers. A lot of that shift has been over the last 20 minutes with Manly's 24 points to 0 scoring run. A good grab there on the back foot. That was Rooney. And there is some sting in the Manly defence now. The Penrith forwards are very slow to get back to their mark. They are still moving back into position. Rooney with his second touch of the set. Brought down a metre short of halfway. 17.5 minutes to go. 6 points the difference. Stapleton. An easy target there. Came from a standing start. Gower. Campbell. Beautiful footwork from Preston Campbell. Steps once, steps twice. Campbell is in to score his second of the afternoon. And this one is far from over. 30-28 kick to come. We are going to be locked at 30. A high-scoring affair.
If it's not Reece Wesser, it's Preston Campbell that you've got to watch from broken play. And this particular try by Preston Campbell is typical of just what he's able to do. Accelerate into a hole, and when he's got the fullback to beat, puts a bit of acceleration again and a step on. These wet conditions, very difficult for a fullback to get your footing and try and shut down that sort of play.
Preston Campbell from right in front. We are locked at 30. 16 minutes remain. What a game for Preston Campbell. A personal tally of 18 points. Has looked dangerous with the football in hand, has played the supporting role to perfection a couple of times. Good under the high ball when defending on that right-hand side. And another one of the players that has been purchased by the Gold Coast for next year. Aren't they compiling quite the side? Manly restart for the first time this half. Kennedy went in looking to put the big shot on Joel Clinton. It missed. Stapleton is grabbing across field a little there. He too will leave Penrith at season's end off to Cronulla. Critis. Good solid tackle there by two of the bigger Manly players. Their front row combination of Kite and King. Critis steals 6 or 7 metres. Keeps the Manly defence very much on the back foot. Gower plugs it down into some open space between Robertson and Creary. Here's the former that takes the ball. He heads centre field. As we said a couple of minutes ago, Junior, about the enthusiasm and the application involved in the Manly kick chase, exactly the same now can be said for Penrith.
Yeah, it's a game of emotions, rugby league, and Penrith now realise on the back of that try that, well, maybe we can sneak a win here today against the odds, and they're playing accordingly. Their speed of the line in defence is once again first class.
Up now!
Burns gets it off to Orford, had no options on his outside, took to the line himself, got past Clinton, couldn't get past Stapleton. That's the last tackle, so Burns kicks it downfield. And a good kick it is from the little number 6. He was floored after kicking. I think all 26 players on the field be very happy to see that ball go over the sideline. No one rushing to form the scrum.
And that's a very good kick there from Travis Burns. One of the things that Manly have struggled for in this game is to come up with a good, long, quality kicking game. Too often they've kicked long, but it's found either the fullback or the wingers on the full.
Seconds down, guys. Lean off the weight. Lean off the weight. Seconds down, Manly. Lock it up, Mark. Hold the weight. Ball in. It's out.
And that was high. Once again, Burns and Williamson are in the tackle, and Travis Burns is being called out by our referee.
Hold on. Appreciate the conditions aren't good for you, but it's second time on him, mate.
No arguments from Ben Kennedy there. Nothing intentional or in it from Travis Burns.
No,
But it was high.
Yeah, it slipped up a bit high there on Danny Galea, but once again, it's a piggyback penalty that Manly really can't afford. They need to try and get some field position on Penrith, because Penrith now are starting to grow in confidence.
Gower running the ship out there. Here is Stapleton.
L2! Square change.
Been a good purchase. Revived his NRL career under John Lang. Now Pulatua gets the ball to Wester. The ball comes free. Now a chance for Manly to counter. Kennedy almost dives over the top of Preston Campbell. Orford dummies off the right. Here's the penalty Manly fans have been asking for, a second attempt in the tackle.
Well, is it close enough to go for goal? This is going to be the big question mark. The decision Ben Kennedy's got to make. Can they reach the goal post? If not the goal post, can they put it dead in goal if it doesn't go through the post? And they're saying, no, we're not going to take a risk with that. We're going to keep the pressure on Penrith.
Under 12 minutes remain. The score's locked at 30. Are we headed for Golden Point extra time on the peninsula between the Sea Eagles and the Panthers? Bray takes it forward, a good low front on tackle from Luke Critis. Dunley, geez, he had some spark to this ruck. A lot of variation. Shane Dunley to Michael Monaghan. They can adapt to varying situations. Orford linking up with Stewart, already one try this afternoon. Getting close, Dunley across field, runs into Gower. Also there was Pritchard. Last tackle now for the home side. Across field goes Burns. Campbell is back there, so too plenty of Panthers. The ball has been knocked down, knocked on by Penrith. Manly will get the scrum and more pressure for the visitors.
Yeah, well, Manly tried to isolate Preston Campbell out there on the wing. Travis Burns, the kick wasn't probably as deep as he had hoped, but Penrith there come up with the knock-on. And looked like Michael Gordon was the man who got his hand to the football. So Manly will get another crack at the Penrith try line.
Up we are, boys. Up we are. Heads down. Matt, ball. Head down, Ben.
Back on with just over 10 remaining. A long ball to Burns. Steps off the right a couple of times. Got past Wesser. Couldn't get by the tackle of Danny Galea. Coming in to assist is Craig Stapleton. Hicks. An awkward ball to Orford. On to Robertson. Back to the number 7. Happy to spin the football at times today, both sides. Creary. Taking it centre field. Is it too early to think about field goal? Perhaps. Here goes Kennedy. Kennedy to the line. Manly are claiming a try.
That will be tackle 4. Can we check everything, please?
Stephen Clark is our video referee. Body language suggests no try. Kennedy reaching out. No. No try scrum. We head back out to the 10-metre line. We are waiting the ref's decision here. The ball is in the hands of Craig Gower. He's going to feed the scrum. A massive let-off there for the Panthers.
Locks down, stay in, lock.
Some very determined running from Ben Kennedy. Here is Frank Pritchard. Was destructive early on in patches. It's been well contained. Stapleton with the Manly defence up very quickly on him, limiting his metres. A Manly chant now starts to echo around Brookvale Oval. Very slow to his feet was Cross. Here is Clinton. Still going, every metre a bonus. They were good ones. Now to Gower. On to Frank Pulatua. Little more success. A couple of metres wide of the ruck. Gower. Downfield and pressure on the number 2, Michael Robertson. Here come the Panthers. Gower leading the charge down there, along with his right centre and Danny Galea. Stevenson tackled by Swain. Here is Matai. Can't get out of the tackle of Clinton. Swain was diving at his ankles. Across field goes Shane Dunley. Travis Burns off to Mark Bryant. Panthers have contained the Eagles on this set as Orford gets the ball in hand. He punts it downfield. And it is a penalty to the home side. Matt Orford taken late in the tackle. Frank Pulatura is the man penalised.
Well, Pulatua comes... it's a tough one because, I mean, his momentum was already... He was committed to the tackle. Yeah. Whether he gets it for a high tackle, maybe you can understand for a high tackle, but I don't think it was late. It's a tough penalty to give against a defending side on that occasion. I personally thought Frank Pulatua was committed to the tackle. I thought, well, maybe he might get in for a high tackle because it was up in the upper sort of chest area, but there's no way in the world it was a late tackle. He was committed to the tackle, couldn't pull out of it.
Reece Wesser just trying to put off our kicker Travis Burns, and he's going to be spoken to.
It will be in 10 minutes.
In fact, all the Panthers are being moved back the required 10 metres.
They're allowed in front.
Reece Wesser doing star jumps at the moment underneath the sticks. Travis Burns, it didn't bother him. And with 6 minutes, 40 remaining, Burns kicks Manly to the lead. 32-30, it is not over just yet.
This is the penalty, and as far as I'm concerned, that was not late. Frank Pulatua was committed to the tackle. That's a very tough call. Penrith, the game is not beyond them yet. 6 minutes is a long time in a game of rugby league, particularly when both teams are under the sort of pressure these two teams are under.
Matt Orford slow to get to the football, offloads to Jason King, and as a result, they are tackled just 12 metres out from their own line. Dunley operates to the left-hand side and gives it to Bryant, as tackled by Prittis, and also there was Swain. Kennedy has been inspirational again today, Ben Kennedy. Dunley. Once again, it's Jason King. He's had a season marred by injury. Here's the lock forward and captain.
Well, there's Kennedy again. You've got to put it into context. He was forced off the field in the first half there with a knock onto his knee. He wasn't going to come back onto the field, but Manly got themselves in a position to maybe win this game, come back onto the field, and he's been absolutely inspirational. Now, listen to the crowd. They're pumping Manly right up.
Rooney was swamped by the Seagull defenders. Wesser, likewise, very enthusiastic and aggressive underneath was Stewart. Over the top was Bryant. Now it is Frank Pulatua. He would dearly love to make amends for that earlier indiscretion. 80 metres between the Panthers and the try line. Pulatua brought down by little Travis Burns. Here is Frank Pritchard, most definitely one of your go-to men if you're Johnny Lane. Slow play the ball. Campbell to Gower. Well inside the 40 and straight into the hands of Robertson. Good metres from Michael Robinson. Runs into Pulatua and Rooney before being slammed to the ground. Used as the first choice runner is Paul Stevenson. Certainly doesn't get any easier for either outfit as this competition continues. Maddai on the outside. The Seagulls are on the road next Saturday night. One of our feature games on Super Saturday. They take on Parramatta at Parramatta Stadium. The Panthers next weekend, also out west, play host to the Warriors. This is Dunley. Targeted by the right shoulder there of Pulatua. It was Tony. Also in the tackle was Brian Norrie. Orford puts it high. Campbell is there. Preston Campbell has done well. He was conceding about 2 feet to guys like Brent Kite and company that were bearing down on him.
And I think he's very fortunate the kick was probably about 1.5 meters too long, because it gave him time to take the ball before the defenders got there. Now, Penrith, the challenge for them is to get some decent field position to throw the ball around, or they've got to take risks such as this.
Big tackle. It was Mitch Creary on Danny Galea. He will feel that tomorrow morning, the young centre. Now to Swain. What a big shot that was. Prittis. Gower. Long ball. Pulatua has left it behind. Over the sideline it goes. There is 3 minutes remaining. Danny Galea is still flat on his back. This is the reason why.
Total commitment there from Mitch Creary coming in, because if Galea gets the ball and offloads to his winger, Michael Gordon, he's away. Comes in and he's still down, whether he's winded or got some sort of a chest or rib problem, but gee, that was some sort of a crunch from a winger too.
Oh. They may only get one more opportunity with the football, Penrith. 2 points is the difference. Orford to Chris Hicks. Across field he goes. To the ground he is ridden by Michael Gordon. Matt Hyde will settle things down from dummy half. Nothing silly required from Manly. Another couple of tackles straight up the middle, and see how accurate Matt Orford can be with his boot. They would dearly love a repeat set, and that would all but end Penrith's hopes. Kennedy. They're 11 metres out. The home side looking to wrap up this round 20 clash. Orford, Burns, used as the decoy. The ball was knocked on, according to our referee, as the Panthers race to the scrum. Under 2 minutes remaining and 87 metres in between the Panthers and the try line.
It's a scrum. Arms over. Arms over, Manly.
Well, Matty Orford appealing for a strip there. He's saying, well, Matt, well, the Penrith stripped it out, so it should be a knock-on, should be our feed.
And it was almost one against the head there.
Back it up, Penrith. Need you guys both arms over, binding. Head down, Ben.
Every second
Down.
crucial to the Panthers. In the hands of Wesser. Beat the initial tackle of Travis Burns. Couldn't get around Ben Kennedy. Matai was also there, so too Shane Dunley. Tackle number 1. What have the Panthers got? Can they produce a miracle on a fabulous Sunday afternoon of rugby league here at Brookvale? Pulatura, it's gone back into the hands of Gower. Tackle number 3. The number 7 didn't need that, and he and Shane Dunley are still at it. That has gone on for the majority of the game. Wesser smashed in a tackle of Stewart and Kennedy. 62 combined points this afternoon. If you haven't enjoyed what you've seen, you're a hard marker. The crowd has got their money's worth and entered through the turnstiles at Brookvale. Last tackle, Campbell, downfield. Robinson is there, and quickly, will he be caught? No, he won't. An indifferent kick from Preston Campbell. Territorially, it does the job, but Penrith needed to keep the ball in their own hand.
Well, they needed to put a short kick over the top, or they needed to put one up in the air to challenge for the football. Now, all Manly need to do is they need to control possession, go from dummy half, and just wind the clock down, and it'll be a tremendous victory, come behind victory for the Manly side.
The countdown is just about to start at Brookvale Oval. An incredible Manly Warringah performance. Ben Kennedy, it's fitting he takes it to ground as the siren sounds. An incredible Manly victory. They trailed by 18 points at half-time, and they have beaten Penrith 32 points to 30.
This has been a Fox Sports production for the National Rugby League Partnership. Monday on Fox Sports 1 at 7, the latest worldwide sports news and results. Then we take a look behind the headlines on the back page. And Warren Smith and Laurie Daly check the NRL scoreboard. This weekend on Fox Sports, rugby game 2 of the Bledisloe Cup. This Saturday, the Wallabies and the All Blacks are live and uninterrupted from Brisbane. Golf, action from the European and US PGA Tours. Live from Germany, it's the Players' Championship. And live from Milwaukee, the US Bank Championship. NRL, we've got live league on NRL Super Saturday and NRL Sunday. Cricket, England-Pakistan, days 3 and 4 of the second test from Old Trafford. This weekend, Fox Sports.
It's up to us to support the United States with our own troops.
Nicole Kidman stars in her breakthrough role.
We are not against our troops.
Vietnam. Premieres from Sunday, August 6 on the History Channel.
Tri-Nations Rugby, Saturday on Fox Sports. Wallabies and All Blacks. The Tri-Nations Bledisloe Cup. Live, uninterrupted action. Saturday at 7, Fox Sports 2.
This program is brought to you by Tooheys New for the love of beer. Harvey Norman, there's a store near you. Jim Beam, the spirit of rugby league. And And Bunnings Warehouse, where lowest prices are just the beginning. Telstra Stadium in Sydney, it's the West Tigers and the Parramatta Eels.
It's a big game coming up between the Tigers and the Eels. The loser of this one can just about count themselves out of the race for the finals in 2006. Let's take a look at both these lineups. First off, the West Tigers. Shannon McDonald will start at fullback with Brett Hodgson this week playing in the 5/8 role. Scott Prince will be the halfback, and the forward pack is Gibbs, Farah, Scandalis, Lafranchi, Payton and Galea. The coach is Tim Sheens. For the Parramatta Eels, they're looking for their 6th win in their last 8 games. Wade McKinnon has been in good form at fullback. He's there in the #1 jumper again. John Morris partners Jeremy Smith in the halves, and the coach is Jason Taylor. Parramatta will defend the southern end of the former Olympic venue. John Morris will get us underway with the kickoff. He was terrific a couple of weeks ago with his kicking game against the Knights. We'll see how it fares today. Here is Bryce Gibbs, who brings it back out on the first carry. He'll play it just outside the Tigers' tennis. Farah goes to the left-hand side to link up with John Scandalis. UK bound in 2007 as Farah again to Todd Payton, the man who